Okay, we're recording?
Yeah,
Oh,
you got
okay.
it.
I'm gonna whisper in your ear right now, okay?
Alrighty.
Don't get too freaked out, okay?
Just remember the people on TikTok can't hear you when you're whispering.
Good morning, TikTok. We're gonna scratch them like a little cat. Like a wild cat.
That's
Good
funny.
morning, everybody. Good morning, TikTok. If you're logging in on TikTok and you're watching us, it's me and Alex from Citizens Realty Group, and we're gonna today cover first-time home buying.
Correct.
So what it's like.
Moving to Dallas.
Moving to
Is it worth it?
Dallas. Is it worth it? And you know what's funny is actually I had a guy, I made a video this weekend, or maybe on Monday, I think it was. So a guy, it was, if you're a young professional moving to Dallas, here are the neighborhoods that I recommend. So if you're on TikTok, go look up that video. On TikTok I am George E with two E's, and Alex on TikTok is
Raf underscore realtor. Or realtor underscore Raf.
Realtor underscore Raf, and on Instagram, what are you on Instagram?
Same thing.
Same
Realtor
thing.
underscore
I'm just George E0.
He has one of those auto-generated names.
Because I sometimes am not that smart to come up with the names, but one of the guy made the comment. He was like, "Don't move to Dallas; it's not worth it." So we're going to debunk why you should move to Dallas, because there's a lot of people moving from Dallas, particularly from California and New York and states like
Florida,
that, Florida.
Arkansas.
It's a lot of people moving here. And I'm gonna get rid of this gum because I'm gonna smack while we're talking. And I know y'all like that. So yeah, I'll say, let me get my Azzy all right real quick. That's me. That's me getting the gum out of my system right now. So we're going to cover that. We're also going to talk a little bit about the housing market. I think you guys need to know what's going on in the housing market. Has it shifted a lot? We have to understand that the market is, you have submarkets, right? And you have a submarket within a market, right? So the submarket meaning Texas is going to be different than the market in California, right? And then even within Dallas, one neighborhood is going to be different than another neighborhood regarding submarkets. So is the market, quote unquote, crashing? And the answer in Dallas is
No.
no.
No, I mean, maybe like a small part of Dallas. No, I'm kidding, not even.
And I would emphasize possibly a hell no.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You know, I would go that far. So if you have any questions on TikTok, come on. Ask your questions on TikTok. I'll be happy to answer any of the questions that you may have on TikTok. And, you know, we'll talk about Dallas. We'll talk about neighborhoods in Dallas, and we'll answer anything you guys may want to know. So don't be afraid to ask anything. You can even ask Alex personal questions.
Oh, yeah. I'll take all the personal questions.
It's all the personal questions. You know, so let's get into it. The home buying process. It's scary for a lot of people, particularly if it's your first time. And one of the questions that we often get as realtors when you are purchasing your home for the first time is, I often say this, and I used to say this in our lives on Thursday, it's almost, is it the chicken before the egg or the egg before the chicken?
Exactly. I don't know what the answer to that one is.
It's almost asking like, how many bites does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Yeah.
Do you remember that commercial?
Yeah, licks. I'm
How many
naming
licks?
because this was one bite. It's like a one.
And then an owl would bite it. So, KK, I love you. Oh, I love you too. Is it KK?
Yeah, it's KK.
Blue strip. Okay, hey, I love you too. So, the answer to that age-old question is, I say get the realtor first.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Before the lender, right? Because a good realtor can refer you
To a good lender.
To a good lender.
Yeah, and some people think they only have one option when it comes to shopping around for lenders.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like you get caught up in one and you're like, oh my God, but
I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And then they often think, oh, let me go online and get pre-approved online at whatever these online lenders are. And oftentimes you don't really get the best rate that we could get you refer through some of our lending partners that we have, because they can shop around your loan dependent upon your situation.
Yeah, exactly.
They have various options. So always get a good realtor first, and then let us send you to one of our lending partners and help you out, because we have someone like Larry. If you have a VA,
Oh my God. Yeah,
you know,
the dude's
love
awesome.
Larry.
I love Larry. Larry, I love you, man.
Larry, if you're watching this,
He works miracles too.
how do you do that little heart shape with your hands?
Oh my God.
This is what we give Larry right here today.
Oh,
So yes, get a realtor first, and then let your realtor. A good realtor will have someone that they could refer you to, so you'll be able to get you a lending partner. You'll be able to get your lender through one of our lending partners.
Yeah, and you get educated more than anything. Whereas with just jumping into a lender, you don't know what you're doing. You just kind of whatever you Googled, you know. Everybody thinks, oh my God, my credit score has to be at 700. That's not true all the time.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Different lenders, and I'll use Karina for an example. Like, she went through. I'm going to say this on here. I don't know if it's going to get me in trouble, but Wells Fargo. And Wells Fargo is not one of my favorite lenders, so I'm just going to take this risk and say it. And if Wells Fargo, if you're listening, I hope that you are, you will reach out to me and I can tell you the reasons why and how you could do better for our clients. Just so you know. But Wells Fargo was giving, and I had a deal that I was flipping, and the buyer came with Wells Fargo, and they were one of the toughest, strictest requirements, and it was, by the time the person met this requirement, it was another thing that they had to meet for underwriting, and then they had this, and it was another thing for underwriting. It was a nonstop, ongoing process.
And was this for residential?
It was for residential.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I was asked, do you do residential? Because I do commercial and multifamily as well. So, you know, that, just so you know, throw that out there in my AMSR voice. So, yeah. And you got to know the difference between pre-approval and being approved, right? Because I feel like I'm whispering.
And pre-qualified.
And pre-qualified.
That's important too.
Yeah.
Yes, because
Pre-qualified just means that you put your stuff into the computer and it's spit out based upon whatever you put in there that you are qualified for X amount of dollars, right?
which is a good thing too. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you have to be honest with yourself too. You can't just lie on a pre-qualification.
That's the problem, because people are going there and go, I think I make about this, and I think I
Make
got about this.
200,000 last year when you only made like 20 grand. Like,
Yeah, basically. Even on your credit like writing, you don't know. And so you go out, you have your hopes up high, and you think, gosh, I went on this online thing and it told me that I was pre-approved for $1 million at my, you know, salary that I made up.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then you go out and look and you find yourself disappointed when they actually run your credit, because they're not really running your credit at that point. Once they start verifying your information and you find out, oh my gosh, I'm really not qualified for this, and I've been looking at $1 million homes and I'm only qualified for 300,000.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know, versus pre-approved, that's when the lender's really going to pull your stuff, and then they'll be able to better tell you what you actually qualify for. So when we're out looking, your expectations are real, and you know what you're going to qualify for. You're not you don't get under contract, and then in the end, you're surprised that it didn't quite work out like you thought it was going to work out.
Exactly, and that's why we like working with people like Larry. I mean, Larry, you be honest as possible with Larry, and he's going to get an answer for you.
Yeah. And Larry's going to be straight up with you, and he's really the type that's going to tell you, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to do it, and Larry's going to really work to get you approved. I mean, we're giving Larry all kind of plugs.
No, yeah, he's mostly optimistic all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted an energetic lender, Larry. Yeah, of course. Larry is like a cup of espresso.
Yeah, you can party with Larry over Zoom if you wanted to.
When you get off, you're like, man, I'm exhausted. So Larry, we're showing you love today. We're showing you a lot of love. Larry sometimes comes in and looks at our
we'll see if he takes
our lives or whatever. So after you've found your realtor, you've now been pre-approved, not qualified.
Correct.
Okay. So now you're pre-approved. The search begins.
It does.
And that's the fun part and the least fun part. Alex, do you have any like recommendations when somebody's starting to search? What do you recommend for them? Do you have anything you can think of off the top
When
of your
somebody's
head?
starting to search, the first thing I do, I just kind of ask, think about your career, where is it going? Or if you're in school, about a drive and whatnot. And so then what I'll do is, okay, you're pre-approved for so much. So what I personally do is I take the approach of looking for homes under what you're looking for, at your price range, and above your price range. So then they go, oh my God, this $600,000 home is awesome, but I only got pre-approved for $400,000. You know, why are you showing me this? Why are you showing me this $100,000 home if I was approved for this much, right? But then we compare everything. Okay, I like this from these houses. I really hated this from these, and these, you know, they're all right. So then we'll kind of weigh out the pros and cons of every home that we see on the market. And it's honestly worked. I mean, it looks like most of my clients have been pretty happy with comparing the amazing homes and the really, really crappy ones.
And keep in mind the price ranges that Alex is giving you is just an example, like from one extreme to the next. He's going to give you something within range, a little bit less than what you're qualifying. He's throwing crazy numbers out there. For you that are listening,
I'm not going to give you $1 million home with a $200,000 budget. I would never do that.
And I think it's important too. It helps us guide you to which neighborhood you need to be in.
Exactly, yeah.
Because if you're pre-qualified, let's just say for $500,000, right? $500,000 in Uptown is totally different than $500,000, let's say in DeSoto.
Oh yeah. Oh, and DeSoto, you know, $500,000 home is
a nice home.
Yeah, no, it really is.
You know, $500,000 home in Highland Park doesn't exist. So we're not.
Buy a piece of dirt.
It may get you somebody's garage.
Somebody's sidewalk, yeah.
But that's about it. And you know, so it helps us to set realistic expectations and guide you into neighborhoods where you ought to go and where to get the best bang for your buck. Because ultimately, you know, what we want to do is guide you in the right direction. And it's not about just kind of going after selling your house, but it's really about guiding you and building long-term relationships with you. And I personally, I like to, when I'm helping someone, if you're working with me, I'm not going to go out for, and I'm like, oh, this is just all pretty. Like, I like the bigger picture. Like, when you get ready to sell, what direction is this neighborhood going in? Is this neighborhood going in upward trajectory? So when you sell, you make some money on this house, and you're just not buying a pretty house that's in a neighborhood that's going downhill. That's not how I work. So if you're working with me, you know, that's what you expect. I had one client.
Investor mindset.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's your largest purchase you're going to make. Possibly in your life.
Possibly ever. It might. There's some people who buy their dream home off from the get-go. They just build it from there, you know?
Build it from there. And mentioning dream homes, I always tell people, too, on top of that, like, listen, the only house that you're going to get that is the perfect house is the one you build.
That's right.
Custom build. Everything else, now you're going to find houses that are already pre-existing that you're going to fall in love with, and they may be perfect. But if you're just looking for this needle in a haystack that doesn't exist and it has all of these little things that you want, you're going to have to build that. But there are great houses out there that we can guide you and say, you know what, based upon the criteria you gave me, that's how I work. This is the criteria you gave me, and I found the best within that criteria. Like, I'm not showing you any crap that's around here because I just think you want to look at it. Like, I'm going to be like, listen, I'm coming out the gate swinging.
Yeah, I mean, we can use your current listing as an example. You know, what did it have to take to get more attention?
Oh, gosh, it took me to do a whole deck of me rendering on that thing and redesign it myself in order to get attention on it.
Exactly, yeah, because people just look at what it looks like at the moment. But, I mean, if you're getting a hell of a deal, you have some money left over the next few years. You're building it to be your own dream home.
Dream home, yeah. So you buy something. I sold my clients, Christine and Jacob, I sold them a house. Like, man, it had to be like, their daughter is graduating high school this year. She was in kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I made it myself. Scratch that.
I always like to make a joke that George went to high school with Jesus.
My birth certificate is on.
It's written in stone.
It's written in stone and etched in. You know, I was actually there when Jesus was born. I was like coaching him out. You know, so we were looking at houses, and they were looking at all different type of neighborhoods. We went from Oak Cliff, we went to North Dallas, and we were all over, right? Because they were searching for this needle in a haystack. And then finally I was like, okay, let's stop. Because what you're qualified for in one neighborhood versus what you're qualified for in a different neighborhood, it is not the same thing. So let's just be realistic here, and let me take control and find you what you're really looking for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I showed him this house, and Christine later told me, she was like, when you showed me that house, I was so mad at you. And I was like, this is where you guys need to move. I'm like, this neighborhood is where everything is going to, it's a trajectory where you're going to make some money.
Yeah, where was this?
This was in near Royal and, oh gosh, man, I want to say
35?
35 area,
Yeah.
but I can't think of the
actual name of
the
it.
cross street over
Oh,
there.
okay.
But literally, guys, like they bought that house literally for $100 and something thousand. That house now is worth well over $500,000, easy,
Oof.
easy. Like and so when they were decided to redo the house, she reached out to me. She was asking for tips on kind of how to redo the house and my opinions on ideas of how to redo the house. And so, we redid their house and they're in love with it. Like their backyard is killer. Like they have a pool with this big screen thingy, it looks like a Take movie screen in the backyard, right? And so, but that house now when they go to sell it, it's like 5-6 times worth what they paid for it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what they were looking for, but as someone like myself who's an investor, I look at potential. And I'm not just out like some realtors like, let me just put you in something that's pretty.
Exactly. I'm always optimistic about my first-time home buyers. I'm always like, you see, the same way, mindset of I'm gonna go in. This isn't my dream home, but we can make it my dream home. And I always like to see, dude, you just graduated. You just started your career. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is gonna be way like below what your budget was, whenever you first bought it.
Yeah.
So then by the time you flip it, you're making a profit off of it, and then now you're starting with something new, even bigger and better, and then you can build that and just keep moving forward.
And you take that money that you made from that house.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you buy that next house is the dream house or that killer house, right? And so now, I mean, you look at my clients, Christine and Jacob, they could take that money literally. If their houses were 6 times, well, let's just say now they get 500,000, and that's a realistic number that they could get from that house now when they sell it, and they're probably going to get more than 500,000 when they sell that house. They could go pretty much anywhere in Dallas, and put a decent down payment on something, and buy pretty much at the average price in Dallas. They bought something that's $1 million something in Dallas. And they go put the money that they made on that house they bought for the first time together down on that new house. Like they literally are now below what the average purchase price of a house in Dallas is right now, a decent one. Because if they bought some over $1 million, they take half of that 500,000 they're making from there. That $500,000 in Dallas right now is for something is about the average price.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, depending on, like he said, Dallas is so big. Depending on what part of Dallas you're buying in.
Yeah. Okay, so then we went off on our tangent. So we've searched, we've made our offer. I always tell people there's 2 parts to negotiating their contract. It's the initial one that you're going to make to get the offer accepted. You want to get your offer accepted. I know some people are going to say, let's just make this killer lowball offer. No, you're making an offer to get it accepted. If you're serious, and whatever that number is, I'm going to advise you. If I think you can get that house for less than what it's listed for, I'm going to advise you, but I'm going to advise you a realistic number, or do I think you have to come in at list, or do I think you have to be competitive and come in over at list? No, I don't want you to have to overpay for a house just for the sake of doing it. But if that's what it takes, I should be able to guide you, and I can support that with numbers to say this is why I support that decision there. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to make an offer that gets accepted. That's the first thing you're going to do. Then after you make the offer, there's a second part of negotiating. Because now we're in contract.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets good. And this is where a lot of agents miss it. Because then they go, we got it, and we're just done. But the second part is you're going to have an inspection. This gives me another opportunity to negotiate some more stuff for you if possible.
Which we also have connections with really amazing inspectors.
Inspectors. So if you need good inspectors, you can ring my cell.
Yeah, the guy that Karina referred me to, the dude was awesome. He gave me a whole presentation. Dude, I'm ready for you. Let's start tomorrow. Let's do it today.
It really is a good inspector. Talking about inspectors, we can just kind of go off on inspectors right now. Just to talk about when you get your inspection report, when you get your inspection report, it is written to be scary.
Yeah.
It's written to be scary. It's written in a way that when you read it, if you've never seen one before, you're like, everything is wrong with this house. Anything and everything that could be wrong with this house is wrong with this house. You know, but it's a negotiation tool. And as a realtor, we're able to go back and say, you know what, they're saying that this GFCI could, I'm just going to exaggerate, blow up the whole house, right? You know, but we know that if you go to Home Depot, you get the GFCI for
$20.
$20, yeah. But when I write it to negotiate for you,
You can exaggerate a little bit.
I'm going to put what the inspector look, because what is the selling agent? They're just a canary.
Yeah.
They're going to deliver. If you're a good agent, I'm going to do a whole another thing where we just talk about the ways to negotiate.
Yeah, this is just going to be a short version of everything we have to talk to you guys about,
Everything.
which is like unlimited. I mean, we're always going to have new information.
Thing there. Mentioning you're going to watch. We're going to going forward try to film at least once a week. So plan on at least once a week. Looking out for our new content and looking. Hey, we're celebrities. We have people peeking in here on us. Hey, I don't know why I'm whispering. It just sounds like the right thing to do. Like, hey,
There's people working right next to us.
how you doing?
It's funny.
So look out for us weekly,
Yeah.
for our podcast weekly. This is one we're just throwing a lot of stuff out right now, but I really, in a future podcast, I want to talk about like negotiating. I am a master
When it comes to negotiating?
when it comes to negotiating. I am a master. You never want to get into a negotiating competition against me unless you plan on losing. I'm just going to put that out there. You better work with me, because if you're working against me, it's a losing battle. And I say that to say, back to my point was, the other agent is a canary. So if I'm representing you as the buyer, I know that the selling agent is a canary, right? So I'm going to take the worst parts of that inspection report, and I'm going to give it to the selling agent. And what the selling agent is going to do, she's going to run back to Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and she's going to present the worst case scenario to them. I've done my job because now I scared the hell out of them. And from there, what I'm going to do now, this builds my case for what we're going to ask for, possibly in our second phase of negotiating, right? And then you get your appraisal. There may be another opportunity to negotiate once you get your appraisal, or another opportunity to negotiate once you get your numbers back from your lender, what they're going to approve you for, a rate, so on and so forth. So, you know, that's a whole nother topic I could get into.
Yeah, I was like,
Back.
we're giving you a step by step, but then getting off topic, and then we're going back to step on
You
step.
know, but I really am. If you get into a negotiating competition against me, you better pull your claws out. Because if I don't win, it's going to look like you've been into a fight at least. So
Learned that from going to garage sales growing up.
okay. May the best man win.
Don't negotiate with my mom.
So we've made our offer. You know, once you make your offer, here are the things you need to know once the offer is made, right? You're going to have what's called, the first thing is an option period. And you're going to pay a minimal fee for this option period. And we'll advise you what that minimal fee is. And once you pay for that option period, it will give you unrestricted right to cancel that contract during that option period for any reason.
Which is why you want to get your inspection right away. You want to get, I mean, literally everything put together.
Lined up.
Yep.
You want to have your lender, all the paperwork over to the lender. You're like Alex says, you want to get your inspection report. I mean, you want to have the inspector lined up. When you think that they're about to accept that offer, I call the inspector. Like, hey, I think we're about to have this offer, you know, accepted. Or are you available within this day here?
And it seems like they love that too. You know,
Yeah.
be ahead of the game. It gives them.
Time, and they will pull. They will pull. Mine always pull strings. They go, yep, I can make it.
Yeah.
You know?
I got a guy over there right now.
I'm in my car. Just tell me what day you want to be there, right? So now we have our inspection. Then after the inspection, you're going to get title work, and the title work is going to see if there's anything, you know, wrong with the title, and you get to look at that and figure out what's wrong with the title. And oftentimes there's nothing, but then after you get your title work done, we're waiting for your lender, right? And so then the lender is going to. We have what's called a third party financing addendum here in Texas, and so we have a certain time frame in which you are able to get your your final approval from your lender. And I want to, while we're talking about third-party financing addendums, when I tell you I'm a master negotiator and you don't want to get into it with me, this is the reason why. Karina, which is one of the agents in our office, just had a transaction. On a third-party financing addendum, they wrote 6%. He ended up getting approved for 6.8.
Okay.
So he wanted out.
Correct.
Even though it didn't make a difference in the amount of money that he was going to be paying monthly, he wanted out in his mind. It doesn't make a difference. When he's paying his mortgage, 0.8%, over 30 years. Okay. But needless to say, he wanted out, right? So we send the termination. I told Karina, send the termination addendum to
The seller.
the selling agent, right? And so the selling agent goes, we're not, they're going to lose their earnest money. Bull crap. Bull crap. You're going to go back and embarrass yourself in front of the seller, because although it's only a 0.8%, they agreed on the third-party financing addendum to 6%.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. It was not that 6% that we agreed to on the third-party financing addendum. So while she's arguing earnest money, I'm like, you may want to stop this argument while you're ahead, because I'm about to embarrass you, just sugar, sweetheart, And so what I do, I sit over and say, we're terminating, even though we're out of option. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're out of our option period, so you don't have that unrestricted right to cancel for any reason. Now we're canceling because of the third-party financing addendum.
Which happened after the option
Happened
period.
after
Correct.
the option period. But that agent did not have foresight, and so she's arguing. And I'm like, no, we ended up getting the guy back his earnest money, because we were able to, at that point, say, this is why we're canceling. You agreed that he had to get 6% interest rate. If he didn't get this, based on the financing that we were on third-party financing, he has the right to do it, and he get his earnest money back. And he did it within the time frame that he had to get financing, which I think we had wrote 25 days or 30 days or something of that nature. But he did it within that time frame.
Yeah.
Oh, she was pissed. She was pissed. They refused to sign the
cancellation?
the cancellation thing to get it over to the title company. Well, that's okay. You don't have to sign it, sugar. That's nothing required.
You already signed your addendum.
You already signed the addendum, baby. I'm sorry, sugar, but you don't have to sign it at this point. So what we do is we send it over to title. Sometime, it could take, depending on what the situation, it could take up to 30 days, 45 days, because title have to send it to their attorneys, depending on the situation which you're canceling and the other party is disagreeing. But in this instance, it was like, okay, yeah, send it over to the title attorney. The title attorney looks at it and go, oh yeah, they do have a legitimate thing. So the title then can make decision who to release it to.
I just want to point out, George negotiates aggressively, not violently. I know he's coming off a little scary right now, but...
But I can get
we still keep it professional.
But I do. I am. But I say that to say that a great negotiator is not that you can get over on the other person. A great negotiator is that we can find the median ground to get both of our clients where we want to go.
Correct.
And so when I say I'm a master negotiator, that's how I do it, okay? Now, if you don't want to do it that way, then I have my other ways of getting you there. And that's the aggressive way. So we got our option period. We're now waiting for our third party. We're waiting for financing to get approved. That's one of the things you're going to be waiting for. And it's important that you stay on top of your lender and making sure, because the lender is not subject to, they're not a party of the contract.
Yeah.
So although you say you have 20 days to get financing, the lender doesn't have to meet that 20 days. So it's our job to make sure that the lender is meeting those days, and a good agent will still help you stay on top of that on dates and remind you of that.
Yeah,
So,
I like to stay in touch with the lender, sometimes even daily, multiple times a day.
Alex, if you want somebody that is going to be like data and date driven, Alex is your guy. Far better than me.
My phone's like, bing, 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 bing.
Sometimes I'll be like, oh Lord, now what I got to do this morning?
Hey, George.
Alex will call me and remind me, hey, George, remember you said you needed to do this on this day?
George, I thought I already did that. I'm just kidding. No, George is awesome, but definitely Staying in communication with, having a good realtor that stays in communication with your lender and title company, and even with yourself is going to be really important.
Really important there. Yeah. The other thing that after we've done that, then we're preparing for closing.
Yeah.
We're just sitting still preparing for closing at that point. And then at closing, we have closing and funding, and you get your keys and so on and so forth at closing and funding. Now, there's a couple things that I didn't go over here just for time's sake. But that kind of gives you an overall high level overview of what it's like when you're buying a house for the first time as a first home buyer.
Every step can eventually become an individual podcast on its own, a whole episode on its own.
Yeah.
Well, and then once we get into new construction, that's going to be a whole nother world, and then
This is your new construction guy,
Yeah,
Alex.
so-
Alex is your new construction go-to guy.
it's going to be fun. We have a lot of really good stuff coming your way.
The other thing I want to just touch on right now before we get into the fun part of our podcast, and I promise you we're going to get into the fun part of our podcast. I mean, I've just been a drag in here. I just want to see if I can keep your attention for about 30 minutes. And if you're still here, I love you, okay? And you love me. So here, that sounds very radio-ish. Coming to Citizens with Dallas,
Yeah.
97.5.
Live from Dallas, Texas. No.
From Dallas, Texas. Let's talk about the housing market. I'm going to touch it really quickly, and then Alex and I are going to get into the fun stuff that we wanted to talk about, right? The housing market, what's going on in Dallas right now? Dallas is not crashing, mi gentes. It is not crashing. Dallas is staying strong.
Recession-proof.
Yeah, basically, Dallas is its own country, and that in many ways is true. So right now in Dallas County, the average median price in Dallas County is about $348,000. That is up 1.8%, or 1.8%, 1.8. What the hell is 1.8? I'm just making up numbers as I go along. 1.8% sounds so good, sounds so fancy, but
You divide
1.8%.
100 by 8 and then times 1.
Math is not my strong point. Let me tell you that right now. So we're up 1.8% since last year. Okay. What we have right now, we have 80% more active listings than we had last year.
Yeah.
I
I mean, it was crazy last year.
That doesn't mean we have a lot.
True. It doesn't mean we've reached where we're supposed to be. There's still-
but we have 80% more than last year. Our closings are down. Okay, I'm going to give you the good, bad, and the ugly. They're down 18%, but 18% is really not a lot when you don't have inventory.
Exactly. Yeah.
The average days on market, and keep in mind, this number sounds fairly high, but I don't think it's a real depiction of what it's like when it's in the summer months, because we're going from February of last year to February of this year.
Yeah.
And so we have our winter months that they're factoring in, but the average days on market is 50 days.
Yeah. Plus,
So-
I mean, and like you said, some parts of Dallas, what we were doing the comps the other day, it was like 9 days,
Yeah.
11 days over there by my house. It's
Yeah.
and then
so it goes back to what we were saying earlier. You have your market and sub-markets.
exactly, yeah. And 2 miles away, you're closer to 30 days, and then you go another 10 minutes up the road, and now you're at 2 days. It's like, what the heck? What's going
It
on?
really is. And so don't come in the gate thinking, oh man, this particularly when you're selling, is my house going to sell tomorrow? Well, it depends on what submarket you're in. And it depends on how aggressive you're willing to let us be with pricing. And I'm always going to be aggressive with marketing.
Yeah, I was going to say it with marketing as well.
Yeah. Alex is like, I'm telling you, if I was selling my house and I wanted an agent that was an advocate agent, Alex would be the one I would pick.
Yeah, I tell my friends, my neighbors, their moms and dads, their grandpas, I'll send a drone video to everybody. My gimbal will break while I'm using it, and I'll fix it and keep going.
I consider Alex the client's advocate. Even sometime where I'm like, Alex, don't do that. He's like, but it's just my client and I want to do this. Like, Alex is the client's advocate.
I'll be extra for you.
He really is.
Yeah, and then once we get under contract or even put in an offer, I will bug that agent as well. I'll make sure that they know we're here.
Okay. And we want that. We want to get accepted or we want to sell.
Exactly.
The average days to close is about 28 days. Okay, so we're not going to be making offers and saying, "Can I close a year from now?" The average days in Dallas is 28 days to close, right? So that's why it goes back to what we were saying earlier, is to make sure that you get your lender lined up early. and
Yeah.
make sure that the lender and the title companies are not a party to the contract, right? So it's important that um, you work quickly on these things there, right? And so 28 days is fairly good from time you get your contract accepted to the time that you close, and that is good to know for sellers because you need to know we need to be looking for a place to move to fairly quickly.
Yeah.
If we're closing. Right now in Dallas, we only have a little over a month and a half of inventory. So when we go back, say we're 80% up in active listings.
With a month and a half.
With a month and a half.
Just imagine where we were.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so people go, is it now a buyer's market? No, it takes about 6 months of inventory for it to be a buyer's market. So
Is it up 80 from the last quarter or from the last year?
from last year.
Last year, okay.
So we're looking at 12 months.
Okay.
So
Yeah, just making sure,
So
okay.
it's not, to your point, that's not, look, I just keep leaning back out. They say, don't, let me get up on this mic real close for y'all. So to Alex's point that he's making, like, this is not quarter to quarter. This is over a year. Okay.
Yeah.
It took us a year to get there. And we'll still only have a little over a month and a half of inventory. So it's not like we have a lot of stuff out there right now. So if you find something you like, pull the trigger.
Yep.
Because it's not it's right now. I come bearing the truth. It's really not a buyer's market right now in Dallas. It's still a seller's market. It takes us 6 months. But the good thing is that pricing isn't increasing as fast as it was last year.
No, it definitely slowed down.
Yeah. We're kind of stabilizing on how quickly pricing is increasing. It's not this by the time you go look at a house next week, pricing is up 10%, in some neighborhoods.
I've seen some neighborhoods that I thought the prices would go up or stay the same, like they're dropping their prices, their asking price
down.
too.
There are some cool little pockets. Alex is really good at the cool little pocket things. I like my go-to neighborhoods, but Alex is like the cool little pocket.
Yeah, I'm like, George, I found this really cool neighborhood in Oak Cliff. Oak Cliff is already small. I mean, I guess tiny, a fraction of Dallas. And I'm like, I found this nice little, he's like, but did you see Uptown? Like, Alex, did you see Uptown? What about Highland Park? Did you see this new house in Highland Park? Let's go look at it. Oh, okay.
But talking about Oak Cliff, let's get into the fun part of our podcast, right?
Yes.
Let's get into Oak Cliff, right? Oak Cliff is really one of those neighborhoods that it is a lot of small neighborhoods within Oak Cliff.
Yes.
And they all change depending on where you're at.
Yeah, like Bishop Arts, Wynwood. I just found
Park.
out. Keys Park has its own division too.
Yeah, Keys Park.
Over behind
the Cedars.
Yep.
Cedar Crest. You have all of these little pockets in Oak Cliff. Beckley Club. People don't even.
And nothing looks the same. I mean, everything you can tell, everything is different. Sometimes even house by house, you're seeing different things.
You're going to and Oak Cliff is one of those neighborhoods that if you're looking for stuff with a lot like houses with character, like an English Tudor, mid-century modern, plantation. It has all of those houses over there. They're starting to build townhouses now in Oak Cliff. Oak Cliff is one of those neighborhoods that it really is. When you talk about submarkets within a submarket,
even retail is changing there too.
I'll tell you one of my favorite places to go. This is going to surprise everybody. I know you think I'm going to say Bishop Arts District, but it really isn't. I like the Bishop Arts District. I was there this weekend. But if I want like ethnic food and like ethnic products, I go on Jefferson.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or Davis. Oh,
Yeah.
There's
Like,
so many restaurants.
if I want, what's those little candies? The straw with the candy wrapped around it. I love putting them in my palomas.
Oh, like chamoy. Oh, no, not chamoy. Tamarindo.
Tamarindo.
Yeah.
I love those little straws with that. It's like a treat. It's like I drink and then I just chew my little tamarindo straw. I go over there to get stuff like that. Cinco de Mayo stuff. I love it. And it's its own little.
Yeah,
It reminds me of Insurgentes in Mexico City. The street does.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever been to Mexico City?
No, that's your uptown. Yeah. I've been to Jalisco. I've been to Mazatlan. So.
Yeah, but I love me some Mexico City. I can't get enough of it. But let's get into the fun thing. We're gonna do the portion of our podcast where we're just going to get on Google, and we're going to see what people are searching about Dallas in Google. right? So here are some of the topics that people are searching.
Oh, how much money you need to live comfortably in Dallas?
Dallas.
They just released a report about that yesterday.
Did
Actually,
they?
I think it was like $76,000 was to live comfortably in Dallas.
Okay, that's not bad.
Artesia posted an article about it on Instagram. I was reading it
I
yesterday.
have to go look at our article thing. So here's the fun part of our podcast. Maybe we should have started with this, but today we're gonna end on it. Tell us if you think we should start with this or you think we should end on this, right? Okay. So now the part is our Google search of what people are searching for about Dallas, and this may answer some of your questions. So we're gonna go down a list of the topics and we're gonna touch on some of them, right? Okay. First one is, what are the pros and cons of living in Dallas? Number 2, Alex.
All right. What do you need to know before going to Dallas?
Okay.
Maybe more like a visiting type of thing.
What's the prettiest city in Texas? I don't know.
Dallas.
Dallas. Okay, what's up next, Alex?
What part of Dallas is the best to live in? Okay.
Okay, I'm biased. You know where I'm going to go to? Where you think I'm going to go to, Alex?
It's probably Uptown for George. But,
Okay.
that's his personal opinion.
What's the coldest month in Dallas?
Very unpredictable.
Yeah.
It could be January. It could be March.
It could be right in the middle of July. We could start
exactly.
snowing. It's Texas. I mean, if you don't like the weather, wait 30 minutes. It's going to change.
Yeah, typically I'd say it's probably January.
January. Okay. Okay. I'm reading yours, Alex.
Yeah, no. Which is better, Atlanta or Dallas? I mean, I've never been to Atlanta, so
I don't even know why
I've heard
this is
great things though,
comparable.
but I mean, Dallas is. I feel like Atlanta is more of like I've had a lot of clients moving from Atlanta to Dallas, so I mean, but I haven't heard of many people moving from Dallas to Atlanta. So
Yeah.
that answers itself.
Lala in our office, she's from Atlanta. She would be better able to answer that question.
Yeah.
Is, to what you were saying earlier, is
Yeah.
$80,000 a good salary in Dallas, Texas?
Which also depends on your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that was another part of the article. You just can't just assume because you're making 80 grand, you're gonna blow up in Dallas.
Okay, and now we're gonna. I like keep reading yours, Alex. Like I'm greedy.
You're good.
I'm greedy
You're
today.
fine, man. You won't break my heart.
Don't break my heart.
Answer that one,
My
George.
icky,
I'll let
breaky heart.
I'll let you ask that question.
I just don't think you understand. Okay, I'm back. What's upper class salary in Dallas? That's a good one.
Mark Cuban, not even.
Yeah, that's another planetoid.
No offense to him. Yeah, but anyways.
I'm going to tell you the street that's in Dallas. You know what? I'm going to tell you the street that's in Dallas that I consider the Billionaires Row. We've been on that street before. We filmed it before. But I'm not going to tell you guys until we get to that question again.
The neighborhood with nothing but compounds. Yeah.
Behind gates. And
Yeah,
walls.
no, exactly. And then
And what is the minimum wage? What is
that's a
minimum?
sensitive
I
topic.
know.
It's a very sensitive topic.
Okay. Did I lose our questions, Alex? Where did I do with our questions? Let me go back a page. Okay, let's go back. We're going to go back and answer these.
There we go.
Okay, so what's the pros and cons of living in Dallas?
All right.
Some of the pros of living in Dallas, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
is the cost of living.
Correct.
In Texas in general, we don't have an income tax. Do we have a
State tax.
State tax,
Yeah,
yeah. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Retract that.
That's
Thank
what
you.
we're here for.
The Dallas is up in there's a lot of new things that are coming to Dallas. I mean, you have you look at neighborhoods like or going out further north like Salina and Denison and stuff like that. So you get a lot for your money here in Dallas, I think.
No, yeah, you really do.
I call Dallas like the $30,000 a year millionaires because you don't have to make a lot of money here to look like you have a lot.
Yeah, clearly.
Okay. So those are some of the pros and cons of living in Dallas, and I keep losing our questions. Daggone it! I have to get better at doing this.
Wait, we forgot the rest of the diverse choice of neighborhoods, even though we already went over
We
it.
went
I think
over
that's
that?
a really important one.
Oh, some of the cons is
Yeah,
the
we didn't
construction.
even do the cons. Yeah, the construction is never ending.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they just finished that part of 35.
35 is never done.
No, yeah, Illinois. Oh my God, I think they've been rebuilding that since I was infant.
Mentioning over there, though, they're doing that. If you're familiar with Clydewood Park, and if you don't live in Texas or you don't live in Dallas, Clydewood Park is a park that's it is right by downtown and uptown. It's between downtown and uptown, and it's built over a highway.
Oh, yeah. Really nice park.
And so it's a really cool park. It's a great place for picnics. It's a great place for you to hang out on the weekends. And they have live music events out there. There's a restaurant there, playground for the kids, water park for the kids, dog parks. People are doing yoga. Like it's like the Central Park.
Yeah,
almost.
no, yeah, it really is.
To Dallas.
And they just built that other new park right there next to where the brokerage was located. Right across the street with the water fountain and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What was the name of that park?
I can't think of it. But you know one thing about Dallas that people don't think of? Dallas has a lot of parks in downtown.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean,
There's like
they're just randomly placed.
Parks.
Even under bridges.
Yeah. There's a basketball court like right under the bridge by where the office is at where Deep Ellum meets downtown. It's like a place where people are playing. It's like a whole basketball court. I would have never thought it was there. And so what I was saying was, before I went on my tangents that I like to go on so often.
We're talking about cons.
is there's a park where you said Illinois is at by where the zoo is at.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so they're building a park like Clyde One Park over there.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for somewhere that's up and coming and you want to get in early, start looking around that area over there. Alex would be. You were working a contract over there, weren't you?
Yeah. It was.
Or a little further north, a little further south. Was your contract?
Further east.
Further east.
Yeah, it was literally right across. It was right east of that bridge, closer to. It was Keast and I can't remember the intersection. Right by the DART train.
Oh, I don't know that. Oh, mentioning DART. Okay, that's probably Dallas has public transit, but I think one of the cons is that it could be better.
Yeah,
I think they should expand our train system. I really do. I just think our train.
I mean, it's always in the talks talking about let's drive it all the way to New York. I mean, yeah, let's go.
I hope we ever get that speedway train or whatever that thing, that jet plane or whatever they want to call it, that's going to take you from Dallas to Houston.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the thing you posted about the little carts that's going to be flying over Plano. What are those? I want to call it a gondola. It's not a
Isn't
damn
that
gondola.
what they're called? What are they called?
I don't know what they're called. It's like a little trolley thing that's in the air.
Yeah, it's in the air, and I was laughing and making fun of it, but I would love to see a clip from the sky.
I would love for them to have it around Dallas anywhere. I would ride it.
No, yeah, it would be
They
really
have
cool.
one similar in, I don't know if they still use it, but they used to have one in Valley Ranch off of 114 and O'Connor.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it. I drove in there so many by Las Colinas.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know when you're exiting 114 and O'Connor, you know where they've built the new, is it Toyota Center?
Yes.
Like right there.
I haven't seen them.
It's like a little train thing that takes you above the street. I don't know if they still use it.
But that's on a bridge, though. That's not hanging on cables.
I don't think it's hanging, but it's very similar to that.
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay, is it still there?
Yeah, I think it still is. I've seen it. I mean, it's been almost a year since I've been through there, but the last time I went by there, they still had it.
I would love. I want to call it an air gondola. I know that's not the name of it. No, it wasn't DART.
It wasn't DART
because DART didn't go to it didn't go to Irving.
Oh,
it goes there now.
What was it?
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is. Now, if DART is building something that great, they better most definitely improve this train system. Now, I say that right now, DART, if you're listening. What do you need to know before going to Dallas? Let's see what Google says.
Yeah,
let's just see what Google says.
Interesting question.
Dallas is not Fort Worth. Let me tell you. So people will come. Dallas. People don't understand how big Dallas is.
Yeah, I mean, because I think DFW is what gets people confused.
Because we'll have someone come in and I can hear myself scratching. Hey, someone to go and go. You know what? I'm moving from California to Dallas. Okay, what part of the city you want to live in? You have an idea where you're working? Well, I work in Frisco, but I'm open to living in Dallas. No, not unless you want to be on the road all day.
Trust me. From experience, we know.
Yeah, and so people don't understand. Now on the map, it looks very close.
Yeah, it's because all the highways they zoom out and they make them really thick on the lines, so it looks like you could drive from here to here in 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and it's like no, you don't want to you don't want to make that mistake. Now I don't go and joke where I say no matter where you're going in Dallas, it takes you 30 minutes. Yeah. But without traffic. You can get around. You can get to Fort Worth in about 30 to 40 minutes if you drive at the pace that we drive here in Dallas. That's another thing. When you come to Dallas, let me tell you,
Don't get in the left lane if you're going to drive the speed limit.
If you're scary.
Yeah, drive over the
Don't
speed
get on the
limit.
highway in Dallas if you're scary. Let's just start there. If you're scared to drive in Dallas, don't get on the highway. Because our right lane is only intended for you to use it. It's our passing lane. Our left lane is not the passing lane.
Yeah, the left lane is go really fast.
Go as fast as you would like. Our left lane is the Autobahn lane, okay? Don't get in that lane unless you plan on breaking all speed limit laws, right?
Unless you're a state trooper and you're watching this.
No. And to be honest, the police are almost like, why are you holding up traffic?
No, yeah, they'll be right
They'll tell
behind
you.
you until you're.
So you move over.
Yeah.
So, and then what you need to know when you're getting on the highway in Dallas is like, people see you getting on the highway and they know, daggum me well, you don't have anywhere else to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only entry ramp I got, and why are you speeding up to keep me from getting on here? What is that helping?
Yeah.
And in Dallas, we don't, if you turn on your blinkers, it's a signal to the person that's in the other lane
That they're
behind
going
you.
to cut you off or they're going to speed up
They're
and
gonna
block you.
in.
Don't eat like.
Don't turn on your blinkers. Just get over.
Well, turn on your blinkers, but
After you're in the lane.
to let them know thank you for letting me be here.
You just blink them to be like, you just tap on your brakes like, thanks. So
Smack the blinker as you're already switching lanes.
it's like, click twice for thank you. Click, click. You know, so when you get on the highway in Dallas, I promise you, like, we drive. If you, Fort Worth drives, last time I went to Fort Worth, I was nervous. It gave me an anxiety, seriously, because everybody was driving the speed limit.
Oh my God, speaking of going to Fort Worth, the first time we went out to Fort Worth with George, we were going down 30, and this person jumped out in front of George, and he almost killed us all. He almost sacrificed everyone to avoid killing this person.
Of someone who was trying to commit suicide.
Yeah, just jumped in front of us.
Yeah, like, out of nowhere, she was just walking.
You're probably going like 85.
Yeah, and I'm like, I could see something weird, and I'm like, there's no way. This person.
I'm over here just watching this person. I'm like, is he gonna slow down? Is he gonna switch? I don't see his turn signal, you know?
Then the next thing I know, this person is about to literally jump off the shoulder of the road in front of my car. I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah, no, that was, I mean,
I think I was in utter.
he was like shaking. He was in shock for the rest of the drive.
I'm like, turn the radio down. Nobody breathe. Nobody look the wrong direction. All eyes on the road.
Meanwhile, who was in the backseat? Was it Karina or was it
Karina
Marquise?
was,
Yeah,
no, it's Karina in the back seat.
Karina was like on her phone.
Yeah, like.
What happened?
And you can see Alex's, if you can see Alex's demonstration of Karina. She was so out of like, we're like, Karina, we just almost killed somebody and died ourselves. And she's like, huh?
That's funny.
Too funny. So yeah, if you're moving to Dallas, if you're getting on that highway, I want you to drive for your life because your life really depends on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a pro and a con of living in Dallas, but that's a part of living here, right? Let's see. We're going to go to what's the prettiest city
And that's in Texas.
in Texas? I mean,
prettiest.
they say Fredericksburg. Fredericksburg is a winery. I don't know if it's pretty. I've only been there once. Jefferson, I don't know. Wimberley, I don't know any of these places.
Yeah, I've never been to.
The prettiest, what is the prettiest neighborhood to you in Dallas?
In Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
The prettiest neighborhood in Dallas. Dang. Oh, man. I might have a biased opinion. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean,
If you could choose your neighborhood, what neighborhood would you choose?
if I could choose my neighborhood, I really like over behind Kimball. Like, I know, like, the houses there are just really nice.
They're really cool.
And
you
the
know what?
interior of those houses, they're just built differently. The living room is not as soon as you walk in. The bedrooms are there, and then your living room's placed like in the back and some on the side. Your garage. I just think the layout of the homes is really unique.
And they're built very kind of at mid-century-ish.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I like that about
And
those
the
houses
roads,
over
it's
there.
very secluded.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have easy access to the main roads and to the highways.
And the streets are really wide.
Yeah, exactly, dude. You can
You can drive 3 cars.
make a U-turn on the streets. Yeah.
Yeah. You can put 3 cars on those streets over there. Freaking me out every time because I'm like, am I on the wrong side of the road?
Yeah, that is one thing about Oak Cliff. Most streets have are pretty wide lanes.
Pretty wide, yeah.
I mean, because most of them back then, they used to be buses would like my mom's road. When I was a kid, buses up and down those streets. Now they're blocked off to buses, to DART buses. But there's more bus stops along like Hampton and Illinois and all those roads.
Okay, I didn't know that. And Oak Cliff is very hilly and a lot of trees, so to give you an idea.
So
of
if
what
you like
all
the trees, I love them. I mean, there's like wide roads with huge trees that cover over, but you still have that sunlight that kind of makes the neighborhood glow. I love it. That's my personal.
One of the cons of living in Dallas, though, mentioning trees, if you park outside, when you get out, springtime, or whatever, your car is green.
Yeah, or it's full of tree sap, depending on what kind of trees you have.
Yeah.
Or
Let's see, what else? What's the best part of Dallas to live in? According to Google.
Oh yeah, of course that is the number one. Let's just all move.
Let's all move to this. According to Google, the 8 best neighborhoods in Dallas, Texas. Alex, would you like to read these off first? Because you have the best radio voice.
Number 1, Preston Hollow.
Of course, why not? Who doesn't want to live in Preston Hollow?
If you've never been, we have videos.
We have videos.
I mean, we plan on going again, so we'll definitely post some more stuff about.
If you want us to make videos of Preston Hollow, we have some videos out there, but comment on TikTok over here or send us a message if you want us to make more videos of Preston Hollow and different parts of Preston Hollow. Preston Hollow, to me, there's a competition like who has more money, Highland Park or Preston Hollow.
Yeah.
Preston Hollow's good old money.
Yeah, exactly. But Preston Hollow is still growing till this day. I mean, Lake Highlands is number 2. All those areas are still growing. I feel like growing up, I always thought it was kind of like at a hole. Like it was just like, oh, you go and you see the same thing, but you never get tired of it. It's so beautiful. But now things are changing. Like all the old apartment buildings are growing and getting torn down and turning into more, luxurious type of.
And Preston Hollow, to mention in that, is those neighborhoods are known for their private schools.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to go get your kids in a private school, get them somewhere over there. Number 3, Alex, is going to be, drum roll,
Lakewood.
Which
I'm not too familiar with. Are you
Lakewood
really familiar?
that's East Dallas. You like the M streets?
Oh, okay.
No, that's not Lakewood. That's not Lakewood. I'm sorry. Take that back. That's East Dallas. Like East Dallas. Lakewood is going to be further like near the Skillman Abrams back in there.
Oh, those houses.
Those are nice.
Remember my first time ever touring that area was with that first rental property?
Yes.
And I freaked. I was like, what is this? I've never seen this.
That's Lakewood.
And we're not too far from it.
No, we're right up the street from Lakewood right
exactly.
now.
Okay, so that. It was a lot of older houses, but they still had.
They're turning down, building new ones.
Yeah,
but they're huge.
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean, It was a duplex. That's what I saw. It used to be a single family home that they turned into a duplex. But it's very unique and really beautiful. I mean.
And Lakewood is one of those neighborhoods that it has a good eclectic mix of people. From young professionals.
The demographic
is very diverse over there. And it's really in a cool location because you can get to Lower Greenville and you can get around to 75.
It's in the center of everything.
It's like in the center of everything.
It really is.
I agree with Lakewood. I don't know why we're still in East Dallas, but number 4, Alex, is going to be what?
White Rock. I love White Rock.
White Rock Lake. Yeah, there's a lake out there. Everybody likes to run the lake. And
there's little, there's sailboats there too.
Yeah, I got a video on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Of the little sailing boats. It's one of the places I named on that video of the best places to watch a sunset.
Oh yeah, the sunsets are beautiful. I mean, and the White Rock Lake, like the park around it, is changing a lot too. They've definitely done some really nice upgrades, and it's really cool.
And it's right by the Arboretum too.
Yes. Oh my God. I was so the kayaks or the canoes or
kayaks.
Yeah, kayaking. We took one of my buddies there one time. Just a quick story. If you guys ever been kayaking, they ask you, like they have like weight limits or whatever, and he's swole, like big swole dude, right? And so they have some for 2 people and they have some for 1 person. And he was like, "Oh, I just want to get in the one with the 1 person. Why are you gonna put me one in for 2 people? Because the dude is like 7'2". And they put him in it, and as we're in the middle of White Rock Lake, I don't know what he did, but I guess he was moving too much, and the waves kind of started to get crazy. So he started to sink. So he reaches over and grabs onto mine. I'm trying so hard, my whole kayak is just moving. Oh my God. But if you've never been kayaking, dude, if you're 7'2" and you're building some body over there, Please make sure you get the right size kayak. That's all I have to say.
The very first time I went canoeing, let me just share this canoeing story. I could never get that pedal right. I was just going in circles and circles and circles. And I'm like, no, this time, no, go back.
Right, left, right.
And so as two of us in there, we were just ramming into the side.
Oh, man.
We were more exhausted trying to get straight in the right direction than we were.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, you can make sure you're not tired before you get out there.
Yeah, drink all your Gatorade and your Red Bulls before you get out there. But White Rock, yeah, it's a really cool part. That's part of East Dallas as well. Lake out there. You're butting up to like Lakewood and so on and so forth. So it's right next to Lakewood. So
and the
it's not
community
far.
itself seems to be growing as well as far as like involvement, like with events and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really active, and it's a really cool place for families if you're moving out there. Right, like you really can't go wrong with that neighborhood. And again, it's another sub-market that has a lot of cool little small neighborhoods within it that's actually really cool. So, number 5,
University Park.
University Park. University Park is what I like to call still part of the park cities, right? So we have what's called park cities. And the park cities is going to consist of, I'm going to throw Highland Park in there. I'm going to put Preston Hollow. I'm going to put University Park. I'm going to put parts of maybe Midway Hollow in there. And I know I'm missing something. Greenway Park, I think we're going to put Greenway Park in there as well. So that's what we would consider the park cities. And that neighborhood is still centrally located in Dallas as well. So it's kind of around this Dallas, in the central part of Dallas, what I like to call the
Would you
central part of
consider
Dallas.
Katy Trail to be?
I consider Katy Trail to be part of Uptown. Mentioning Katy Trail goes all the way from downtown Dallas, and it goes up to East Dallas.
Oh, okay.
And I think there's a part of Katy Trail, like when COVID and everything was going on, there's a part of Katy Trail that I was running on by the design district that I never knew existed.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's pretty big. I didn't know it went over there. The other thing that's fun to exercise around too is Trinity Groves.
Yes.
I love running on the levee of the Trinity Groves.
A lot of people do. And then there's bike trails down on the bottom.
It's so beautiful.
It's big. It's
It's
massive.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
You can walk the whole thing.
Fireworks. This is a great place to go watch fireworks too.
Oh, yeah. That's where
On
we
the
used to
4th
go.
of July. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get out kind of right after the fireworks, okay? Park Lane as well. Who says Park Lane? Oh, what's up, Bevel? Hey, buddy, how are you? Hollywood, Santa Monica neighborhood is really nice too. Yes, that's one of my friends is on here. Hollywood, Santa Monica neighborhood. That's near the kind of where Lakewood is at. White Rock Lake. I'm sorry, take that back. White Rock Lake.
Okay.
That's a really cool area over there. I really do. I have a video on there on my TikTok about a house that's over in that neighborhood over there. But I did the video about this lady who caught her husband cheating. So you have to look through those videos and find it. Her name was, I think it was Sarah, I think it was. So look on there. But Park Lane neighborhood is a cool one too. If you're watching on TikTok, there's comments about Park Lane. Park Lane is near, what's the mall? North Park.
North Park? Okay.
And back over there. Okay, you know the neighborhood we were trying to get into the other day that's kind of behind, where we had lunch and we couldn't get in, it was gated off?
Are you talking about the one where we flew the drone over it?
We were going to fly the drone over it. No, we were where we had lunch at the taco place that day that you took. You took me to
to Taco Deli.
Taco Deli. Okay,
Yeah,
the neighborhood we were trying to get in
That's
behind
right.
the gates.
Yeah.
Okay, I got in there.
Oh, wow.
I found the secret of how you get in there.
Oh, that was right. There was a parking lot and there was a big gate up top.
I figured out how to get in there.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have to break in.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got it. I went in a covert mission. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Throw George over the fence. Run!
Okay, what's the coldest month in Dallas? The coldest month in Dallas. Let's see what you guess. Let's see if we get it right.
I think it's January.
I'm gonna go with January.
I'm a January baby, so.
Me too.
Oh, me you too. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, January.
Yeah,
yep.
January. It's.
They say the average temperature is -8. Oh no, the lowest temperature was -8 in 1899.
Yeah, it snowed on my birthday like 5 times. So
And then trying to go on vacation
yeah,
for your birthday is like, where do we go?
Yeah, and
That's
not just that,
cold.
but like even just wanting to throw a party.
It's like let's have a blanket party.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just go inside my house and turn on the fireplace.
Let's have a cuddle heating party. What's better, Dallas or Atlanta? They say that Atlanta's slightly more affordable, but Dallas, the biggest advantage over Atlanta
Cheaper housing.
is cheaper housing and utility bills. I don't know. I would most definitely stay in Dallas over Atlanta, but the people that live in Atlanta, I have a cousin who moved to Atlanta, loves Atlanta. Not my thing. Maybe I don't know enough about it. I'll tell y'all a story about Atlanta. Mention Atlanta. We're gonna just throw a little story time in here. So I was watching Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, of course.
One time. So if you're familiar with Kim Zolciak on Housewives of Atlanta, she used to go to this psychic named Rose. Anna said February. She says February is the coldest month. Comment what she's saying about February. So I saw Kim Zolciak's, or I hope I'm saying her name right. I'm probably butchering the heck out of her name. Psychic. She used to go to Psychic Rose.
Oh, okay.
So my birthday gift to myself was to hunt down Rose the Psychic.
What did you hear, George?
I found her.
What did she tell you?
I drove all the way to Atlanta.
Oh, my
Not
goodness.
Atlanta, to some little town outside of Atlanta to get her to read me. Because I'm weird like that. That was the birthday gift to myself, was to go on this mission. Let me tell you, finding this lady took a lot of work. It took a lot of work to find who this
Skip
lady
Tracer.
was. And so I found her. And she's an older lady. Rose, if you're watching, thank you. Because Rose told me that I was psychic. She said that. So I may be psychic, Alex.
Wow.
Be careful.
Like that? I mean, hey, you did text me this morning before I even got to ask you a question.
My psycho abilities.
The first thing he does, I called him to ask him a question, and then I look at my phone. He had just texted me the answer to that question. He's like, I'm psychic. So, I don't know if he's, I guess really, he might actually be a psychic.
I think I am actually a psycho, one of the two. You know, maybe delusional.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit of both.
Look at the way he wears his headphones.
I don't even put them on. I put them on like a backwards headband. You know, says it's because of the ice storms, power outages, school closings, wrecks, and dogs shivering.
What?
They said the coldest month is February because of ice storms, power outages, school closings, wrecks, and dogs shivering.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly the past few years has been
February has
crazy. February.
Yeah, February has got. We've had a couple of ice storms in February.
But then again, February, it's always like 1 week straight, just freaking freezing weather, and then the next week it's like in the 70s.
it's in the 70s.
Yeah. So I think they
like
average it
never
out.
happened.
That must
like,
be what.
Yeah, like it never happened. February is bipolar.
Yeah, it's that odd time of year when
Yeah.
you don't know if it's gonna be cold or hot.
Or if we're gonna get, and then we get the hailstorms right after that. It's like, what the heck?
November, December. Sometimes our Thanksgivings are nice and like 80 degrees, sunny, and then sometimes it's icing.
Yeah, we're wearing Christmas.
Dude,
One year you're wearing like shorts and tank tops,
Yeah.
and then the next year you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to come see you because we're going to be sliding across
Yeah,
the road.
one year you're playing Let It Snow, and the next year you're playing freaking
Hot boys.
Kaliki Maka, freaking Hawaiian Christmas song.
Mentioning, I'm going to throw this. This is weird. I'm just having random odd moments. Maybe it's my psychic abilities working because I think somebody wants to know where ice cream, not ice cream, snow cone stand is at.
Here in Dallas?
Here in Dallas. Talking about ice, it just makes me think of the snow cone stand. It's not in Dallas, it's in Irving.
Oh wait, what?
It's a snow cone stand in Irving. I wait till it warms up to go there. It's in Irving off of Story Road. It's in the parking lot of where the Fiesta is at.
Off of Story Road.
It's 183 and Story Road. They have the best snow cones.
Really? I like Waterboy right there off of Hampton, Illinois.
I haven't been there.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's right in front of Hong Kong Garden. It's right next door. They're amazing. It used to be Aunt Stella's. Aunt Stella's was like the freaking craziest. You never been to Aunt Stella's?
I know. I never heard
What?
of it. Okay, you're gonna have to take me to these places.
Well, Aunt Stella's is closed down.
Okay, we're gonna have a competition to see who's the best.
Who's the best snow cones?
You
Okay,
just
and
take me to
We'll
yours,
keep you guys
and
updated.
we're gonna keep you updated. Who has the best snow cones? You take me to yours. I'll take you to mine. we're gonna have a snow cone off.
They better not let me down.
They're not. If they let you down, I'll buy you an extra one.
All right, there we go.
Dad, don't lie to me. Don't you trick me. It says, "Do you make me miss Aunt Stelly's?" Okay,
Yeah,
so
you see,
somebody
she
miss
knows Aunt
on here,
Stella's.
Mrs. And okay.
It just-
Why you guys have never put me on?
I thought you, dude, Aunt Stella's just been around. Like, that was
What kind
like
of
the place to
friends are
go.
y'all? Like,
it was
y'all are
on
not good friends.
Clarendon and Marlboro.
I've never heard of this flipping
Really,
place.
dude? It was like
Is it like the little?
with like the yellow barriers in the front? There was always fire like they gave like paramedics, and it was really
No,
popular.
I've never heard of this place.
No, it was always kind of expensive. I mean, it was
You know
like
what? On the
your-
friend scale, Alex, you were here. But now, because of Aunt Stella's, you're right here.
But it closed before I even met you.
Okay, you're back up
It's
there.
been closed since I was
You're
like
back
in
up there,
elementary
yeah.
school.
Okay, you're back up there. Yeah, so I don't know why. This is a random thought. That's my favorite place for a snow cone. It's in Irving, 183. It's in the parking lot where the Fiesta is at. Oh, and the Fiesta used to have the great pupusas.
What? Ooh, pupusas.
Ooh.
No, the best pupusas now. Or no, although never mind, these are empanadas. I like.
Okay, give it to us. Where's the best empanadas at?
I have to look it up on my phone. Me and Anna love to go there. It's over there in front of Irving Mall.
Oh, where the Target is at.
Yes.
Yes, it's in the same parking lot. I've been over there.
Oh, dude, they're amazing.
There's another guy up the street on Beltline that has good empanadas kind of near where the Kroger is at over there off of Beltline. I think it's Rochelle.
Off of Beltline?
Yeah, because where you're talking about, the mall is on Beltline, and right across is the place for the empanadas you're talking about.
Yes,
in the parking lot the
correct.
Target is at. Go up a little further toward Rochelle.
South or north?
Oh boy, I don't know north from south and southwest.
Does your son sit on the left or the right?
They all sit in the same direction for me. When you're going, no, obviously the highway should be in back of you, but no matter what, you should be going.
Away from the bridge, from the major highway. What is it, 114 or?
You should
whatever?
be going. Oh,
Back towards Dallas.
Away
Or
from
what?
Dallas.
Away from Dallas.
Yeah,
Okay, I know what you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about now.
It says Marlboro and Clareton. That was the spot
Yep.
since the 70s.
See?
I've
Yeah,
never
it was
heard of
around for a very
that.
long time. I mean,
Back on it, bro.
Yeah.
What kind of friends are y'all? Y'all don't take me to anywhere nice.
I'll
Yeah.
take you there just so you can see it. I'm sure it's still there, but ain't nobody gonna serve you a
We
snow
can
cone.
reminisce.
Yeah, we'll buy snow cones from somewhere else and just go there.
So guys, stay tuned because we're going to have a snow cone off and see who has the best, the best place for snow cones.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to win. But I'm biased. Okay, it's $80,000 a good salary in Dallas, Texas is another thing that's been a lot of people are asking. I would say 80,000. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good salary in
80,000.
here. Yeah. Also, it's considered a livable wage in Dallas, and for a family. One of the things too that you also have to consider, there's a mortgage program in Dallas that if you can make up to $86,000, and they will help you with down payment assistance and so on and so forth.
Oh, nice.
Ortiz is really good with those programs. So if you guys are ever want to know about those things, reach out to us and we can put you in contact with somebody that could help you with that. Bevo Oak Cliff 214, if you're on TikTok, please give us. He is like the Dallas historian.
Oak Cliff 2.
And I always try to tell him, like, make videos about Dallas, make videos about Dallas, make videos about Dallas. But for whatever reason, he will not take my psychic advice. Today I'm psychic for the rest of the show, just so you know. Okay. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I really think you should start making those videos, dude. He's my go-to person for questions. He was in one of my lives one night that I was walking through downtown Dallas, and he was just answering a bunch of questions. So he's the Oak Cliff like expert. Like, he knows everything about Oak Cliff, in my opinion. Maybe I'm a little biased. What's the upper class salary in Dallas?
What?
Top earners, $75,000 a year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Top earners? I
think
guess,
about
yeah,
it.
if you look at it
There's
as
a
a
lot
whole.
of blue collars
Yeah.
and, a bunch of.
And making $75,000 a year in Dallas is not very hard, in my opinion. It really isn't. Dallas. Let me tell you something. One thing about Texas culture that I love is that it's easy to come here and start a business. We don't have a lot of regulations, obstacles, and hurdles to starting a business and making money in Dallas. Like, you can get out here and hustle in Dallas, and you can make money.
You can sell anything.
You could sell anything in Dallas. Nobody's out like, "Oh, we're regulating you. We're doing this on you." Dallas has a healthy or Texas in general, in my opinion, has a healthy attitude toward businesses.
Yeah, there's a market for everything here. I mean,
It
you want to
really
sell
is.
candles? Boom.
Somebody's
A
gonna
whole storefront.
and really to get something commercial here, there's so many options in commercial spaces here. Well, that's a whole other thing we can talk about. Don't get me started on that. What's the minimum wage? Do we want to say that? Or we're going to leave it a mystery.
No, we'll just let the people know. It's not like how many people actually make the minimum wage.
Yeah. I don't even think nobody makes. I think Dallas is well above that. The downside of Dallas, we talked about the highway construction.
Traffic and construction.
Why are houses in Dallas so cheap? It's no secret. It's incredibly large.
Yeah.
It really is. And I always say, if you don't like one part of Dallas, don't worry. We'll just keep building north. There's more dirt out there.
Dallas, I think, is just going to keep growing. The DFW is going to keep expanding.
We're almost at Oklahoma right now. We're still going to consider DFW.
Seriously, yeah.
We got
Frisco,
Salina.
there's some people considering Frisco DFW.
DFW now.
Yeah, it's
Salina, Melissa, all of those neighborhoods out there. We went out there one day. We're like, everything is new.
Yeah. What was it? What does Karina live? Forney.
Yeah. Yeah. When we went to, was it Wiley the other day, and I thought Wiley was going to be far out. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're already here?
It would have been back then. 5 years ago, you would have asked me, it would have been considered a far
For a
place.
drive. And I'm like, we're already here.
Yeah.
So
considering how far we've had to drive for other places,
yeah,
that was
easy.
Easy.
That was right up the street. So if you don't like one neighborhood, trust me, we're going to be building a new one soon.
Yeah.
There's just a large availability of land here. Okay, just so you know. Which is better, Dallas or Fort Worth? What do you think, in your personal opinion?
I think it depends on your lifestyle. I mean,
Okay.
Fort Worth, I don't think it's quite reached Dallas's market. I mean, from the people that I have moving from Fort Worth, they live more of like I work and I go home, and there's small neighborhoods like Bishop Arts type of neighborhoods where they'll go, like there's bars and restaurants. But here, in any direction you go, you're gonna have something to do.
Yeah.
So it just depends on your pace.
To your point, people in Fort Worth always consider Dallas to be the big city.
Yeah, and in
Like,
Fort
you live in
Worth, and in
Dallas?
Dallas, you consider Fort Worth to be like, howdy, y'all.
Yeah, the small town.
The stockyards.
Yeah,
and freaking
it's a big. Fort Worth to
the
me is a
rodeo.
big small town.
Yeah.
It's a big small town, but it is a growing city. I love. I really like Fort Worth. I wouldn't live in Fort Worth, but I love Fort Worth.
Yeah, it's growing really fast.
It's growing really
by the
fast.
movie theater by Coyote Drive-In, for the longest, I was kind of scared, but now they
on
have
the
all
north
those
side.
new apartments over
On
there.
the north side.
Yeah, they have. We went to Hyena's Comedy Club in Fort Worth, in downtown Fort Worth, and it's growing. It's really nice. It's like they kept that, like,
It's
old,
charming.
like southern vibe there, but all the retail spaces downstairs, I mean, it's more modern. So
And Fort Worth too. I think in general, Fort Worth, the city of Fort Worth and their city planners and so on and so forth, when they set out to develop something before, they actually execute and get it done.
yeah.
Versus Dallas, we're planning to do this, and sometimes it just doesn't. It never gets
And
done.
that new construction, remember that one that I went to in Fort Worth that I told you was really beautiful? It's like a little hidden, private, gated neighborhood, but it was new construction. That was really, really nice.
Yeah, Fort Worth is great. I mean, I like Fort Worth. Fort Worth has its own charm to it. So, which is better, Dallas or Fort Worth? It just really depends on your lifestyle, but there's something in both of them. And then the honest part about it, I mean, you could literally Zoom. If you want to come out and go out in Dallas one night, you can come to Dallas one night and drive back home to Fort Worth, and it's
I mean, you have
literally.
two major highways running right through Fort Worth
Yeah.
into Dallas.
You can get there in no time flat. So, do you need a car living in Dallas? Yes, in
You
my
think
opinion.
so?
Yeah. Like, we have public transit here, but Dallas is one of those cities. If you compare it to New York,
Oh yeah, I mean New York is completely different.
because we're not as dense. I'll say that because we're not as
Yeah,
dense.
you can enjoy a car here.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas
You don't
New York,
have to pay
it
for
doesn't
parking.
Look...
I'm just grabbing your hand like.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You know, I think you need a car here because we're not as dense.
Yeah.
So if you want to get around the city quicker,
Yeah, I mean, because we have tons of Ubers and stuff. We don't have taxis, but I
yeah.
mean, we have the buses, the train.
the train here. So you I think you need a car to get around the city, and like you say, to your point, having a car here is easier.
Yeah.
Like we're not paying. You don't have to park on one side of the street during these hours and move your car to the other side of the street like you have to do up east, or you're paying something crazy for parking. If you're paying for parking here in Dallas, we're gonna be like, what the hell is this, a ripoff? When did we start this thing here?
Yeah.
Is dating easy in Dallas?
Oh God.
Oh, according to Google, dating in Dallas can be a bit difficult, especially after the pandemic.
Wow.
Oh. Can you live in Dallas without a car? We already answered that. What is the most bougie city?
Who's
Let's talk about the most bougie city. Bougie. Yeah, like who's searching these things
What's
on
the
Google?
answer?
Well, let's see what the answer is. The bougie city. South Lake.
Oh yeah, I agree now.
Yeah, South Lake is pretty bougie, but it's nice.
Oh yeah.
South Lake, in my opinion, is the city of gated communities.
Yeah.
Everything is behind the gate. We got videos of
like-
South Lake. We've shot South Lake.
Yeah.
Alex got videos of South Lake. Go to his TikTok or Instagram.
Big stone houses. You won't see regular shingles. Everybody has their own.
Custom
Yeah.
something. Yeah. It's the city of custom homes.
Yeah.
Behind
And-
gates.
oh, they're beautiful. The roads are really nice too.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a newer city there. So yes, I'm not going to ask this question.
Oh my God.
No, that's so offensive.
Yeah.
What's the friendliest town in Texas? Is Dallas friendly? Yes, Dallas is friendly to me.
Yeah, Dallas is friendly, but the friendliest town in Texas?
Let's see what the friendliest town in Texas is, though.
Like Amarillo, San Antonio.
Alamo. Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know if they say so. What's the safest city in Dallas? Let's find out. University Park. Where do millionaires live? Oh, I think people want to know that.
Everywhere.
Preston Hollow is one of Dallas' richest neighborhoods. So that's where
Millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires.
What's the safest city near Dallas? Is Dallas humid? Let's keep going. Let's find something cool. I think this is going into more stuff than what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does Dallas have 4 seasons? Yes.
No.
Every month we go through all 4.
Let's see. Is Dallas a party town?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. What's okay. Where to avoid staying in Dallas? I don't know.
What is the answer to
Is
that?
it safe to walk in Dallas? Yes, it's safe to walk in Dallas. Yeah, depends on where you're. Yeah. I just proceed with caution, like you would do any other place.
Yeah.
Who is the richest person in Dallas? I think they want to know that.
Yeah, that's a good
Ga-da-da-da-da. Elon Musk?
What?
He's not in Dallas. He's in Austin.
Twitter is Texas's wealthiest person.
Oh, Dallas in
Well, they answered
person.
that question
Okay.
incorrectly. That must just be the entrance to the first opening sentence to the article.
What's the richest city in North Texas? Okay, mentioning North Texas, okay? So Dallas is considered North Texas, right? So we're going to look at North, Central, and South Texas. Central will be Austin. South Texas is San Antonio, so on and so forth. Dallas, we're considered North Texas, all right? What's I lost it.
What are you looking for?
It was the
This one.
richest city in North Texas. North Texas, the 10 richest cities in North Texas in 2023 are, Alex, would you like to read these off for us?
Yeah, let's see. South Lake, which we were just talking about, the bougiest over here. Bel Air,
Okay.
Alamo Heights, Lucas, Lakeway, Coppell, Heath, and Highland Village.
Highland Village. Okay. I'm surprised.
Where's Lucas? I'm not.
Okay, well, I guess Highland Park is considered a town, so it's
Oh,
not.
okay.
So Highland Park didn't make it on there. Okay. Well, guys, we appreciate you listening to us. This is such a cold cutoff. I didn't even warm the
You just
outro.
said, well, guys, bye. We're done.
It's like going to somebody's dinner and you're like, thank you for showing up. And then when you eat, bye.
Yeah. I mean, we have tons more content coming out. We'll focus more on different topics. We'll try to get into.
Okay, someone has a question. They say, before we go, do you know what they are planning to do with the Butler Project east of Fort Worth? Large area. Butler Projects east of Fort Worth. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. By downtown Fort Worth. I was just talking about that the other day. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. It's been closed down for a while. And so I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with that. I think at one point they were talking about possibly doing more affordable housing over there, but I am not sure. That's a good question. I'm going to look into that and see. In case you guys aren't familiar, there's an old projects. Okay, so in the projects, those that don't know what the projects are kind of government housing,
which is also changing and growing.
Is some of these now
They're
I can't
really nice.
tell the difference.
No, yeah. I mean, right off of what is it? Illinois, what is it? Zhang or Beckley? Is it Zhang, the one that runs right by Wynwood Village? Mm-hmm. So they're knocked down. Back then, I mean, projects you considered the square brick buildings with the big black gate around it. Mm-hmm. But no, now across the street they have what is it, Highland something or?
Oh yeah. I've seen those
in front of the retirement home. I mean, and they just knocked down all those projects that were there, and they build affordable housing across the street, like Section 8, and they're beautiful. I mean, it looks like
some of it you can't tell.
No, yeah,
you can't tell. Yeah, so the projects are considered kind of a government housing type of facilities, but the Butler projects, they're in Fort Worth, they're by downtown, and so I really need to look into those some more to kind of get you a better answer for that. But that is a good question there. But guys, we're here every week. I think we're going to try to do it, every Thursday?
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday or Thursday, but look for us every week till we get on a regular schedule. Also, give us the suggestions for names for our podcast, because this is our first one, and we haven't hounded out a name yet, and we want to see what you guys say is a good name for our podcast. If you want to see this podcast live, I am going to upload it on our YouTube, which is Citizens Realty Group. So it'll be on our YouTube for you to watch it live as well. And you guys get to see Alex's handsome face, and you get to look at me and get scared.
Hey, but the good thing is we were able to find two directions of light for George.
Yeah,
he was very upset because we only had one. But look at him now.
Listen.
I took care of him. I set him up. I set him up for success.
Without lighting, I'm done. I quit. Yeah, I want my lighting.
We wanted to make sure you could see our foreheads.
Because mine is a landing strip, okay? Just so y'all know. My forehead is an entire landing strip. So I wanted to make sure you guys could see this, and Alex hook the lighting up so I can get my good lighting. I wanted you to see me from both my best sides, lit very well. But guys, we're going to talk about Dallas. We're going to talk about real estate. And we're going to talk about all aspects of real estate: investing, buying, commercial, multifamily, living in Dallas, what it's like to live in Dallas, different neighborhoods in Dallas. I mean, we're going to bring it to you. So if you want to be in the know of Dallas and real estate in general, what's going on in Texas, and particularly in Dallas, Texas, we're going to inform you.
Yeah, we'll break you down by neighborhood.
Neighborhood.
Tons coming.
Tons coming. This is just a warm up. We're just wetting you up. This is like our first date.
Yeah.
We're just like saying if we like you and you like us.
George is going to get more intimate with the podcast as we go.
I just want to do that. What was I saying it earlier? I was calling it AMR.
Hey, you said AMSR.
I want to do. I just make it up as I go along. I'm just gonna talk and I'm gonna scratch on the mic like a little kitty cat.
That's gonna be a different channel.
Guys, thanks for listening to us, and enjoy the rest of your week. Live your best life. And I hope the best for you all if you're listening to this. And if somebody is listening to this, if nobody's told you they love you, I'm gonna be the first to tell you that I love you today.
Yeah. Much love.
Much love. Take care, guys.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.